together, share together. IPSA. We're not just a name in a directory. Local minds with national synergy.
Bienvenue. Welcome to the first of this week's IPSA, or the first of this week, where we're talking about this particular topic, and it is a topic that really resonates at the moment. We've been sucking up and dealing with the home buying reforms, and here's the question: how does it affect the search agent's future? Well, to start us off, as ever, Hamish McClay.
Well, great if you've been able to join us through this glorious sunshine.
Good
I
Lord.
mean, it's absolutely tremendous, and you can see it shining through my trees as well. And unfortunately, it's a darn sight hotter coming in through the doors, which are wide open here. But we're speaking about a subject which in some ways could be very, very complicated. In reality, however, it's quite simple. IPSA members, because of the way which we work, we have those people out there that work with the local council offices directly, and having been doing so with a length of time, they develop the relationships. So whatever changes take place within the council arena, they're on it. So there is that safety thing. So it's a great thing, just as a reminder, what we actually sort of do as, if you like, independent local search agents. I mean, the Association of Independent Personal Search Agents, that's what we are as a team. However, we are so much more than that. And it doesn't matter what the changes are. We look, as an organization, a non-profit organization, we look to improve things for our solicitor clients, because those are mainly the clients. The drift is looking towards, should this information that we are preparing, going back to the days of home information packs, because it's exactly the same information that is required now that was required then. So there's no change in that. The great thing is it's handled so much better. I mean, this is something, it's not so much with AI that's helped us do it, it's IT, but AI as well has sort of helped us along with it. However, it doesn't take away the need for the personal involvement. Whatever data we get, whatever it happens to be, whether it's for the estate agents at the start of the transaction, whether it's for the solicitors partway through the transaction, it doesn't sort of really matter, because the information needs to be correct. We can get it for them correct. So it's good from that particular side, but we need to be a bit more proactive now as members. But we can help anybody out there who is actually in need of the support of local searches. I mean, we speak about it sort of quite gladly. There's a massive things through the portal of ELAM, sort of one of our partners. We can get you name it, we can get it. And we are a bit like, you see, you have your Sainsbury's, and we can all go into Sainsbury's, you know, the factory type concept that their foods are there, factory and all the rest of it. And you go into Sainsbury's and buy things. If you actually want something special, you'll go to a delicatessen, and a delicatessen will give you that much more effective food, if you like, of that particular sort of nature to cook and all the rest of it. And we're in actually the same sort of space, as Gareth said, more like the sort of the I can't remember
John Lewis.
The John Lewis concept. But anyway, let me pass you on. I've been going on enough. Let's see what Mahesh has to say.
Mahesh, I've always said it's a bit like the John Lewis. You don't just get all the data, you get the data that's most relevant so you can do the deal. So you've got the best information, so you make the best decisions. However, if I can put my devil's advocate hat on, which I think I can, some people might question, with this modern age of IT everywhere, AI standing in the wings, is there a need for a personal search agent? Now, I reflected and say yes, but I'd love you to tell me why.
Most definitely there is for a personal search agent. Whether I mean, whether you go for a factory conveyancing or a factory personal search agent who's doing multiple jobs, multiple councils, multiple areas all around the country, or you go to an IPSA agent who's basically specialized in their own local area. I've covered the south and west of Wales since I've been doing 35 years now, sort of plus probably in my lifetime doing this job. I've picked up a vast amount of experience in doing this job.
Right.
And obviously, you get the little quirks of every single area, which you'd probably find that somebody in the northeast probably wouldn't have that information. But because I've been doing it for so long and I gathered all that information, put it all into my database, you got it there to hand whenever you need it. So it makes it a lot easier. A factory search agent might just be sitting at his desk, pulling through information off the PC. You're not going to get it all. You might get some information which is not relevant to your property. So obviously, I would say use IPSA agents, obviously. Again, the solicitors, obviously, they've got a choice in who they use.
Right.
If you use a factory personal search agent, then you're going to get delays because obviously they're doing multiple jobs, hundreds of cases throughout the week, and they can't do hundreds of cases a week without having some sort of time delay in terms of getting their cases around. I was speaking to a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, and he's a property developer in Swansea. A small developer, but he still does the odd HMOs and that sort of stuff. His search inquiries have been taking, I think the solicitors have been taking about 6 months to turn around his property transaction. It shouldn't take that long. I think his solicitors have been waiting 6 or 8 weeks for their local search, and Swansea generally I can turn it around within 2 to 3 weeks. So there shouldn't be any real delays. But if you do go for a factory conveyancer who's going to be maybe not sure of what they're doing, you're going to get delays.
So it appears to me that they're a place for both, I guess. But if you are wanting anything that, as Hamish said, you want anything from the delicatessen, so you don't want your just normal bog standard, no frills, you're going to go to your delicatessen, you're going to go to your John Lewis, because they will provide you not just a general purpose answer, they'll give you the specific one that's specific to your needs.
Indeed.
But does that vary per location, Mahesh?
It doesn't vary per location. It's at the end of the day, every single IPSA agent has gone through the relevant training, so they know the information that they need to gather. They will always filter through the information. When you talk to the likes of Barty Brewer from Whitefield, or Sharon, or Michelle from up northeast, or even Heather from Shropshire, the one defining word that they will always say is refined search. The refined information from a local, whether it's a local land charge search that you've had from the HMLR online system, which is not, the information is not refined there, it's just given to you ad hoc, basically.
Yes.
So we will refine that information, and that's the primary word that you need to look for, is refining. We refine the data. We make sure you're not getting fool's gold effectively. You're getting pure gold. So in that respect, so yes, I would definitely say.
But the information you're providing, will that ever, do you think, be entirely all available at the touch of a button on a keyboard?
Information is, yeah. I mean, even now,
rubbish out, right?
The information is there. It's like everything. Sort of, obviously, you go to the local authority, you go onto the website. I can pull through information now for a particular address, and AI could probably do the same as well. But then AI might miss off the fact that is obviously if you put in 91 High Street, for example, in any particular town, you might get 3 different areas of that council's boundary, which has got 3 different high streets. Now AI will have to then decide, well, whether it can filter through that information to decide which is the correct bits and which are not. Obviously, you're looking at extra bits of information which might not be on the locals on the register, but we've got that information to hand. You can't use in certain councils AI to look through local plan information, for example, because they're all just plans on a sheet that you've got to look through to decipher what the information is. So and it's probably you're looking at another 10, 15 years down the line, until all this information is digitized, you're going to need a search agent to go through that information, refine it, as I always say, refine that information, look for the odd quirks which have not been revealed, and make sure the information is there.
Hamish, it seems to me that through all the years that you've been involved with IPSA, this same mission has remained the same, hasn't it?
Oh, I mean, this is the interesting factor. We've always been there, always been carrying out the work as best we can to provide refined information for our solicitor clients. And we want to take the edge away from what our solicitor clients have to look at. So, you know, what Hitesh has just Hitesh, what Mahesh, sorry Mahesh, sorry about that. But what Mahesh has just actually sort of said to the refinement part is so vital. And even by the time we get to sort of 2050, if they've been able to drag every single bit of information that there is, it's a bit like, I mean, imagine what does an industrial Hoover do? It sucks everything up. But these days, of course, you want to sort of refine, because there'll be bits and pieces in there that you might want to you could separate out. But that's what AI will do. It will suck it all out. And we will then need redefining. But finally, and probably, I mean, each of them, I mean, I know sort of Mahesh, there's somebody overlooking the quality of what is going back to check it out. We've got compliance officers. Every single member of IPSA has got a compliance officer who checks out this information. And what does sort of seem to happen when these clever clogs ideas sort of come up, which are going, the intent, the factory type of conveyancing, they want it to work. They're actually, in a way, they're trying to push out the involvement of individuals, because it cuts their costs down and maximizes their profit. They just make horrendous profits because of the way they're actually sort of doing it, and the massive great volume. But they're trying to do the same with solicitors. They're trying to put the pressure on the solicitors to get rid of solicitors, which is the suggestion. That'll be another topic. But there's a lot of power in, if you like, those particular pressure groups. Now, we're very, very fortunate as IPSA members to have some dedicated sort of parts of the team. I mean, Mahesh is part of the team. He's actually sort of part of the executive sort of group of, that we actually sort of have. And Heather, our executive of chairman. No, I'm the chairman, aren't I? Our executive officer. She's the one.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens: A, if it's live, and B, it's very hot. Carry on, Hamish.
Well, yes, but she attends meetings with the MHCLG. She attends meetings with these sort of guys that are trying to improve, because that way she keeps on top of things and can see it from the perspective of us as independent search agents. So, if you like, she was right on top of the information as it was released. We knew what the outcome. We knew what was coming, but we've been prepared for that since the HIPS, because we managed the HIPS effectively. And I hope what they're trying to do now does not encourage more people to come running in there thinking we can do 25 searches a day, we can do 25 searches a day, and just go in and basically sit behind the desk and do as as Mahesh suggested there, just to scrape the sort of stuff, and they'll do it for 10 or 15 quid. What degree of accuracy are you going to get for that, honestly?
Well, quite. Guys, it's always a pleasure to talk about how IPSA can make the difference, but there's a lot of people who are worried that AI is going to remove the ability to get the right information at the right time because it will be just a one size fits all. Do they have anything to worry about because IPSA's future is solid?
I don't think IPSA agents have anything to be worried about. I think you can utilize AI to help you in your work process. If once that you can refine it's basically sort of I remember when I first started in college, and there was talk of AI coming in then. I mean, this is going back to the 1990s, and they were talking about AI and doing artificial intelligence and writing programs to do bits and pieces. And the one thing that we were told at the time, the information that you put into it is the information that you're going to get out of it. So if you put into AI the right bits of information, and obviously the information that we gather and the information that you could pull through from the councils is endless. So you've got to have an endless stream of physical sort of bits on AI to tell it, right, okay, I want this, but I don't want that. I want this, but I don't want that. And it's a question of, yes, you can get bits. You're always going to miss certain things because there is no person in this world, I don't think, yet, who is going to put the information down and basically get it right first time. So you're going to miss things with AI. You're going to build that system. AI has been building for the last 20 odd years. Even now, it's not correct. Even now, it's not 100% correct and brilliant. So you could see in another 20 years, you might get a system which is semi-flawless, but you'd still need the person there to basically just go through that information and just make sure everything is there, and not just whatever AI is just pulled through. So you're always going to need, in my opinion, a physical eye to look through that information. You get quality control in manufacturing, but you've always got, if you go to the most high-tech Ferrari sort of production warehouse, you're always going to get that one person who's doing the fine checks.
Quite.
And that's exactly what we are. We're Ferrari. We're doing the fine checks.
Well, Hamish, I think it'd be fair for you to summarize this, given that your motor racing heritage.
Oh yes, that's another story, of course, isn't it? But I mean, the point is, I mean, it's positive. I mean, it's great that we're able to sort of come out this way and say, "Hey, look, the solution is out there." And I mean, this is one of the great things too, that the IPSA members who are listening. I mean, you might consider it a bit being pestered, but to be quite honest, the people that are coming are going to be speaking about the CLG, that particular announcement, how we can make the greater use of our skills to actually transform what we're doing, transform our business, because you're not going to get that elsewhere, because we've got, and one of those key guys was coming as well. He'll be actually sort of, he's an expert with AI for the conveyancing industry. And so if you like, there's so many experts out there with AI, but how many experts are there with the conveyancing industry? You won't meet them unless you actually sort of come along to the conference. That's members, of course. We've only got spaces for our members to come along to that, but the information is there. So I hope you see a lot of you there. But it's good news because the quality products are already available at the right time as well.
And you never know, you might find that there's a Prince playlist being played there as well towards the end, and everybody can have a good old dance to that. So thank you once again, Mahesh, for gracing us with your presence and your sage comments. And of course, Hamish McClare, our Lord and Master, helped set this up in the first place. And to all of you out there, the future is rosy. Don't think AI is coming to take away your roles. It's not. It's a tool. It's something you can use to make sure you can get it better, faster. Until next time, please get your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars, and these interesting times, please look after your mental health. Bye-bye now.
Local skill, national connection. Independent, but never alone. IPSA, where your professional home.